came like a king and left like a legend.
Zero people.
That's one of the most stupid questions.
Zero people.
I play all my season. Was shit.
Hello, listener. Welcome to European Tuesdays. In today's segment, we're going to discuss what the big boys need to take the step forward and avoid being surprised or even humiliated. This and much more in today's European Tuesdays. Hello, listeners. Welcome to European Tuesdays. So, the game has stopped. Marco, what do you bring us this week?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games in Champions League, apart that there's none. So we're going to go ahead with what we started last week, right? You might recall in the last episode, we analyzed the smaller teams playing on the top 16 of the Champions League. And there we were looking at which of the small team would benefit for a very strong player. So 30 million price range player, any which position. And whether these would change or wouldn't change the balance of the games upcoming. Now, what I would like to do is do the similar exercise, but on the other end. So, assuming the teams, and I would just say for reason of dates of games. Let's start from Leipzig, Liverpool. Would Liverpool need to buy any player were Leipzig to get stronger to ensure that they go through? Or are they already so favorite in this matchup that they don't need anything? For instance, we do know that they had a couple of players getting injured, not being there anymore. They are performing well, but I would say not being as stable or at the very least the back as they were last year. Would they need some additional pieces in the transfer market, or are they good to go?
Well, that's a complicated question, Marco, because as you said, they looked so dominant last year. So on one hand, I think that if they go back to that form, then they wouldn't need a player at all. But on the other, it doesn't look that those results can be easily achieved also this year now. So and also, did you hear the rumors about Mohamed Salah maybe leaving Liverpool? Because there are also some rumors about that. And of course, if it ever happens, and I don't think it will happen on January, that will be quite a big loss for Liverpool. But right now, counting on Salah's performances, I would say that Liverpool is good to go against Leipzig. Not to undermine Leipzig, but still I see them as favorite.
Yeah, I think backing what Stead did, the only thing I would say is I'd be worried is about the center back situation. So we know it's more than, not that they don't have quality, but the physical aspect of it. Apparently, there is some problems always happening with their center backs. With Van Dijk now ruled out for the whole season, what kind of players can play there? Because I think if they should do one of those purchases, should be a center back. And I'm not meaning, go out and splash the cash like a Van Dijk center back, paying 60, 70 million for a Skriniar or something like that. I mean, in terms of getting some reliable players. And one of those would be, for instance, Ozan Kabak from Schalke. They could take advantage of Schalke's precarious financial situation. Ozan Kabak is a young center back still at 19, 20 years old, but highly promising and very aggressive, maybe a bit too much sometimes. The positives is definitely the aerial strength that he would bring to that Liverpool side, which in the Premier League, can be crucial. And also for the Champions League would be beneficial because he's used to play against a team like Leipzig. I think it could be a positive one.
Absolutely. I fully agree with you, Alex. I was also going there with my brain. I was thinking about Upamecano. But I think they do need someone with that physical presence that also Kabak can bring, right? To really lead the defense. Now, in the goal, goalkeeping situation, I think they managed to stabilize compared to the beginning of the season, where they basically had to play 3 different goalkeepers, which wasn't the best for as we know, every team wants to have a strong pillar in the defense, in goal, leading the defense as well, because it's a little bit of a, you can see it as a like vice manager, leading the defense, moving the players left and right as the attack is coming. And they didn't have that. I think now it should be better for the game Leipzig, hoping that no additional injury would come. But let's see how it all evolves. But from this game, let's move to the next one, and we have Porto Juventus. Now we know, because we have discussed also as part of the Portuguese section, that Porto is not in a very strong financial situation, but we had a little bit of a let's say fantasy transfer market over the last episode. Now, against Porto, we will have a Juventus that, as we thoroughly analyze, it's not as strong as we were expecting, has issues specifically in the midfield, but suddenly also the defense doesn't look as strong no more, with Bonucci probably having the worst game ever in the Juventus shirt over the past game, with key players such as Dybala being relegated to the bench. How is this Juventus looking, and what, if anything, should they get to ensure that the potentially last year of Ronaldo with the Juventus shirt could be the year they suddenly win this long-awaited trophy?
Definitely something in the midfield, I would say, because still the attack is effective for Juventus this year, and Ronaldo and Morata can carry for the attack, and maybe with Kulusevski coming in and also Chiesa helping on the wing. So I would say that the attack is okay for Juventus. The defense, like you said, Bonucci has played an awful match against Fiorentina, but overall he's doing fine, maybe not at his peak, but not too bad either. So I'm going to stress again that Juventus should have and deserves a better midfield, because right now it's really chaotic, and I'm not saying that Rabiot and Ramsey are not good players, but they are not Juventus players. They're not the Vidal, Pirlo, and Pogba kind of midfield that Juventus should have. And unless they change something in January, then I do not see them having very good chances to win the Champions League this year.
And maybe could Pogba be the key for this? We know that Pogba with Raiola has clearly stated that he's going to leave United. Now, this might be the case that Juventus can get him before the end of the season. Then again, we would have to see. I believe that the rule currently is that you can't play the same competition you had played already. So he wouldn't be able to play Champions League, I believe, were he to be bought by Juventus. Not sure if any of you can correct me on this.
No, I think you're right, and this will probably play a factor in this. And Pogba would bring back a lot of quality to Juventus and also a lot of enthusiasm, because we know that Juventus fans were very fond of Paul Pogba. But since, like you said, he wouldn't be able to play in the Champions League, then still, I still think that Juventus would be missing something for the year.
And then we move to Sevilla, Borussia. Now, Borussia didn't have the best run of form, I would say, recently. We have seen a change in the manager. To be quite frank, I don't think it was that poor the performance. On the other hand, Sevilla is finally been a strong player in Champions League after many years winning Europa League or Sevilla League. How are we seeing this one? We have discussed last week about a couple of players that could be bought to make the game more even. I struggle to see a clear weakness in the team that could lead to the need of an additional player. Alex, what your thought is here? Is this too even to be changed by a single 30 million player, or is there someone that could really bring the advantage of one of the two sides?
I think from the Sevilla side, defensively they're quite sound in the way that they're playing. Julen Lopetegui has them in a very structured way. Defensively, the issue would be more on the offensive of the offensive third. So I'd be more looking into someone to support Luke De Jong. And I think one clear, and they've been linked to this because of Monchi's love for the French market. Florian Thauvin from Marseille could be an option for the team and is highly debated as an option. So he has a contract until June 2021. We're talking about a world champion, a tricky winger with a lot of assists in his bag. I think he could be actually what Sevilla is missing in terms of delivering on the final third.
Yeah.
That they currently don't have, because let's be honest. I mean, and I know how much Steele loves Suso, but he's not really the player for Sevilla in terms of delivering him to go past Borussia.
No, I think it's a little bit of a one-trick pony, right? So he likes one movement, and that has been the blessing and disguise of Milan over the past 2 years, I think. Anytime the ball was going to the right, the action was always the same. And yes, he did eventually score plenty of goals, had a couple of assists and so on. He did perform well, but I think it's a player that only or often seeks for the individual play rather than for what the team would benefit the most. And if you need to go far in Champions League, you need a different kind of player. And Thauvin, many years has been named as one of the possible purchases of different teams in Europe. May this finally be the season he leaves France for a major European team? Let's see, but that would indeed balance things out at the very least, or rather increase the chances, I should say, for Sevilla.
Guys, you have triggered me. I still have nightmares about Suso's play. Like every single time, the same action every single time. I can do this.
Talking about nightmares, we also have Lazio Bayern. I already have nightmares now, just seeing how Bayern steamrolls every single team they face in Europe. Do they need anything, or are they so safe? I personally go for the latter. I don't see Lazio even being a challenge for Bayern. Anyone disagreeing with me?
No, I'm trying to think about something, but nope.
I think their issue with Bayern was the one at the start in terms of needing a right back. But let's be honest, to beat Lazio, it won't come down to having a better right back. But so, yeah, sorry about that one, Marco, but I would keep the 30 million in the bank.
Yeah, and they did manage to cover that gap by adapting other players, right? As they often have done by moving. I mean, we did see moving Lamb from the wing back to the midfield in the past. Alaba started as a wing, then moved to the middle. Now it's a center back. Yes, still left center back, but Bayern likes to make these changes to players. And also on the right wing, hasn't been different. Also Kimmich filling in often, and I don't think it's a real gap. Would they benefit from a stronger player? Absolutely, but I think right now they are, in my mind, the strongest team in this Champions League. So let's see how that develops. 2 other games we're going to discuss today: Borussia Mönchengladbach versus City, and I think this is for different reasons, but a very similar outcome, at the very least for me, compared to what we just discussed. City is extremely strong. Again, not the best City that we've seen, not the City of 2 years ago when they were just demolishing, but either way, the starting 11 is so strong compared to the Borussia.
Now, yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can say about Gladbach being a threat to City. So in that case, I think it's similar to Bayern. I would keep the money in the bank and not invest in the from the City perspective. I mean, it makes no sense to invest into beating Gladbach or even afterwards, because there's no clear deficits in the team besides maybe a bench striker, because of the injuries that Agüero has had, Gabriel Jesus has. So that would be most of it.
And for the final game of the analysis today, we have Atalanta Real Madrid. Now, we know that Real Madrid has spent no money this transfer market. We know that Atalanta has many internal fractures in the dressing room. That said, Real Madrid still comes stronger in these. Finally have found some decent form in the league. Do they need anything, Alex? And I just gotta give my opinion first, but I want to hear yours as well. I think they should avoid spending any money this January to have as much money in their bank as possible for the next season. Because next season is going to be the one to count, not this one. This one is a transition season, and that had been made clear since the very beginning, when 0 million was the expenditure for the summer transfer market.
No, definitely. I think on that front, there will be no changes, I think, on Real Madrid's transfer policy. But I would be curious to see from your side if there is anything that they need to beat Atalanta, or do you think Atalanta is dead in the water?
If anything, a more consistent player that could play as a wingback in the left specifically. I think Marcelo has played a lot of games, but he's too offensive to really counter the Atalanta wings. If anything, I would identify that one position. However, again, the team is so strong that is covered. We also have Mendy as a wingback. If you look at overall, right, who's I think top tier wingback on the right. So I think that you can just shift the whole defense a bit and cover in that way. It wouldn't be a big gap, but if anything, I think that the Marcelo position is the one I would cover for Real. With that in mind, we will leave Atletico Chelsea and Barcelona Paris for the next episode, as I think these two games are the most exciting of these top 16 of Champions League, and they deserve some special attention. But with that in mind, we will leave you to your favorite section of also this episode of the
Meme section of the day!
And guys, this is not only your favorite section, but today we also have your favorite variant of the section, which is, of course, the Zlatan versus Jesus competition.
Oh, so it's not called Marco is being destroyed by Alex? I thought that was like...
Not yet, Marco, because I still trust that you can come back from the hell.
Thank you.
So at 8-0, we'll probably change it, right?
Yes, at that point it will, yeah. But right now it is 3 for Alex and 0 for Marco. And let's see what we have today. So, all the authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Who is it? Is it Zlatan or Jesus?
It's my turn, right, Alex?
Yeah, go for it.
Fuck me. I gotta go with Jesus. I have to go with Jesus. Please,
Okay.
Stefano, don't tell me.
Marco says Jesus, and Alex, you can agree with him or disagree. Your choice.
Now, I mean, to make the game interesting, I would have agreed, but I'll go with Zlatan.
And you would have done better, Alex, because it is Jesus. Finally, Marco gets the score.
Finally.
3-1. We back, boys.
Could it be the beginning of the comeback or just a single episode? Well, I guess we will see in the upcoming weeks.
The comeback is real. The comeback is real.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about it, but finger crossed for you, Marco. And thank you, everyone, again, and see you next week.